Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com back today with another daily crypto update. Cryptocurrencies are looking much stronger today, and we're actually getting some signals of a potentially very big breakout. There's a lot of pressure that's been built up, and if we're just able to get above certain resistance levels, we could get a pretty huge move. Now, you have to keep in mind we can't count on one single move in this crypto market as we've seen before. We just a few days ago we were looking weak again, and now we're looking stronger. So you've got to be careful when we're getting mixed signals like this. But the fact of the matter is that right now cryptos are actually looking pretty nice as far as the technical setup is concerned. I'm going to talk about it in much more detail, but Bitcoin is kind of paving the way here for the rest of the market to be able to capitalize on this, and we're actually seeing a lot of altcoins move up nicely, right? Nano up a huge 20%. This is pretty significant there for Nano. Been weak for a very long time. And we got some others like that, right, who have been down for a while, but that are now getting some pretty major moves towards the upside. Cash up 30%. So definitely something to pay attention to. Substratum over 20% here. Could this be the market recovery that we're waiting for? Potentially, I'd say we'll know within the next 1 or 2 days if we're going to be able to get out of these downtrends and start moving higher from there. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I'll link to that in the description for live cryptocurrency market updates. And let's go ahead and talk about some interesting news articles here. So first off, I like the headline here, Bitcoin price builds bottom as upward pressure grows. Now, I feel like that perfectly describes basically what we're seeing right now with Bitcoin, being able to climb higher. In fact, if I go over to the Coinbase chart, you'll see that we had this initial attempt, right, that failed over here. And what ended up happening is we found a bottom, we started moving higher from there, got a very nice uptrend going on, and if you pay attention, the bottom over here is actually higher than the one back here. So that's already a higher low, and very steady move higher. Now coming back and testing this resistance area. So if we're able to get back above $6,790, we're pretty much off to the races, I think, for a move probably above $7,000. So that's going to be significant for Bitcoin getting back above that. And the fact that we found that bottom and that we're now reattempting this move is pretty promising. So you're seeing this in a bit of a lesser form on other crypto charts. Litecoin looks like it's ready to move higher here, been pretty stable, so could get a pretty nice run up as well. And talking about what the crypto market is doing here, we saw yet another ETF rejection. However, the SEC promises that it will review the recently rejected Bitcoin ETFs, right? And of course, a lot of people are really counting on that to spark a huge bull run, which is very possible, right? Since it is something that a lot of big players are looking towards, especially institutions and stuff like that, as kind of a vote of confidence for crypto and Bitcoin specifically. Now, the CNBC analyst Brian Kelly says that a Bitcoin approval is likely by February 2019, right? That's not that far out, and I would mostly agree with that. I think that that February month is going to be important next year, and up until then, I feel like we have a very good chance of getting some kind of Bitcoin ETF approval, and maybe it'll be in 2019, but even maybe a little bit before, right? I think that as we get towards the end of the year and we still didn't get one, then it becomes more likely that we'll get it in 2019, hopefully in early 2019, somewhere in January or February. I feel like the odds of that are relatively high, right? At this point, it seems like it's mostly a matter of a time instead of if. Now, that was about it for the actual news pieces that I wanted to cover. But with that being said, I also wanted to go over the technicals, of course, and talk about what exactly is happening. Why are we looking bullish now? Just a few days ago, we were still very much range bound. We still are in our symmetrical triangle formation, and we're very tight on the on the price, right? We have a lot of support and resistance levels to keep us range bound. However, the one very bullish sign here is actually on the indicators. We got a positive MACD crossover with the histogram. This is fully confirmed now, and the RSI just steady uptrend higher, nice V-shaped bounce off the 30 line. So this is pretty powerful, and what might end up happening here is a move above 6,800 Satoshis, which could really end up pushing us all the way back up to 8,000 Satoshis very quickly here. So could get a very big breakout as we did back over here. where we can move, over $1,000 very quickly. And for that to happen, of course, it would mean getting out of our downtrend line and getting out of the $6,800 resistance level, right? So we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll just get out of the downtrend line and then pull back a bit, stay range bound. Maybe we'll even stay in the symmetrical triangle formation, which, based on technical analysis, that is usually what happens. So don't think that it's guaranteed here. There's definitely an absolute chance that we come back towards the end of the formation at $6,100. And keep in mind, none of these videos are financial advice. I'm just here to share my personal opinion. But the indicators are showing some kind of sign that we may be ready to break out earlier than expected from this formation. And that could lead to a pretty powerful move here. Either way, I like the fact that we're now bullish on the indicators. And even if we do pull back a bit, we're looking better than we were just a few days ago, basically. So very interesting and definitely something to pay attention to here, because we could start getting a nice spark of action. So for Ethereum, we're back above $273. This was a very much of a near miss, right? We almost started falling all the way down to $220. But we ended up catching up at the last second, getting back above our support level, and that was truly a save there. So same thing on the indicators, now turning more bullish again. The end of the formation, as far as this triangle, is pretty much at around $275. So we'll see what happens with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin breaks out of the triangle a bit early, maybe Ethereum will be able to do so as well. But at this point, I don't think Ethereum is ready to move lower yet. I think that it's showing that it's at least stabilizing, and hopefully going to be able to use this support at $273 to really start climbing higher again. I think it has every chance of doing so right now. Definitely nice to see these cryptos get a last second recovery like this, and it's at a meaningful spot. So Litecoin, pretty flat, facing a little bit of resistance from the middle band, still holding up while consolidating. The one thing here is Litecoin never actually tested its $45 support level, which is the next support level. So I think we're going to see one of two things here for Litecoin. The rest of the market is going to turn bullish, and then we would see a move, at least testing our downtrend line, hopefully trying to get back above that, or we're going to start falling lower again and moving back towards that $45 mark. I think it's going to be one of the two ways. There is also a possibility that, we just remain very flat and then break out of the downtrend line in a very flat manner, just keep on consolidating. That is always possible with this type of setup. But I feel like we're going to see some type of stronger move here in the marketplace very soon. So let's take a look at Nano. Great to see it finally turning bullish again. It's actually been one of the stronger altcoins for several days now. And we got a complete V-shaped recovery. Indicators, a huge run up here, great buying volume. Tested for 40,000 Satoshis. And we weren't able to stay above 36,000 Satoshis, but just the fact that, we got that test, we're still holding up the uptrend, I think this is pretty positive, right? And if we fall back below the uptrend line, that's when things get a little bit more worrisome again. So hopefully we'll be able to get fully above 40,000 Satoshis before that happens. But really, if we're able to do that, we could be looking at a pretty strong move all the way up to 60,000 Satoshis pretty quickly here for Nano. So definitely one to keep an eye on for a very powerful recovery. Let's go ahead and take a look at Bittrex and, I'm going to take a look at the Binance chart here for Ripple. Now, let's see what's going on with XRP. So Ripple currently stabilizing right above 30 cents. Overall, looking pretty good. Not super bullish, not bearish. So basically very neutral, very flat. I like where it's consolidating. I think it's just setting itself up for the future here. Not much more to say on that for the time being. Let's go ahead and take a look at NEO, see what's going on. So we're going to take a look at the Bittrex chart here. And NEO is still in this range between $13 and $20. Indicators not looking too bad, but wouldn't expect any type of huge move for the time being. At best here, maybe over the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll be able to move up to $26. I'm not expecting more than that for the time being, though, it is very flat, and it has a lot of things, kind of keeping it in this tighter range here. So let's go ahead, take a look at EOS, see what's going on. EOS did manage to get a nice little bounce at an important area. So right now, it's looking like it wants to get out of this initial downtrend line. Of course, we still have this bigger downtrend line ahead, but it'll be great if we get back above that. I think it'll confirm that we're not going to move below 7,000 Satoshis for the time being. And ideally, I want to see it move above 8,000 satoshis as soon as possible. That'll be a much more safe area for EOS to avoid falling lower. Let's go ahead and take a look at Stellar Lumens now. Going to take a look at the Binance chart here. Stellar Lumens still holding it in this range pretty nicely. Did experience some weakness, but we're still uptrending, still in this range, and I think that's what really matters here. So as long as we're able to stay above this yellow uptrend line, I think that we're still doing pretty good here for Stellar. Let's go ahead, take a look at Lisk, see what's going on. Lisk is in a position where it was one of the weaker cryptos, like Nano and other altcoins, but some of these weaker altcoins that really struggled over the last couple months ended up getting a very strong move higher this week. So that's continuing its path, and now back above $5. Huge move there. Very good for Lisk. It's back above its major support level, and I like the setup, right? I think that, maybe we'll come up to $6.24 before pulling back a bit, but overall, just the fact that we're back above $5 is pretty key here for Lisk. So it was able to, I think, avoid, a more disastrous drop here. Very good on Lisk. Let's go ahead, take a look at Cardano, see what's going on. We're going to take a look at the Bittrex chart here. Cardano still experiencing a bit of weakness, did end up stabilizing a little bit here. We have two doji candlesticks. Overall, we didn't test $1,254 satoshis, and I feel like that's just a long time coming. Still looking relatively weak on the indicators, so I still feel like that's at play there. I'd like to test that level just to clear it out once and for all, and then hopefully we'll be ready to move higher from there. And as for a bullish signal, it's just getting out of this initial downtrend line here. Let's take a look at our last cryptocurrency of the daily crypto update. That's going to be IOTA. IOTA currently stabilizing, indicators looking pretty strong here, starting to move back up. As soon as we're able to get back above this middle band, back above 60 cents, I think we'll be able to make a pretty swift recovery up to 90 cents. So still in this range. Ideally, to truly confirm a bull move higher, we would need to get back above 90 cents. But this consolidation is a step in the right direction. At this point, if we do fall lower, there's not that much more downside left. I think at the most, it'll be testing that 33-cent level, which has also been kind of a long time coming. So that's still at play there. But overall, not looking too bad, and the downside and the risk is limited at this point, I believe. With that being said, thanks for watching. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you next time.